So at this page, we can actually look at a variety of things about WordPress. So you can have a look at the overview, the features, do some screenshots, have a look at a demo, ratings and reviews, etc. But we're limited on time, so what we're going to do is we're going to do an install straight away. So in order to do that, we simply pick the install option here. It asks us where we want to do it. So if you have a look at these questions, they're all pretty intuitive. So what I'm going to do here is with the protocol, what it's asking here is it's saying that if you want to really secure a site and you've got your own domain name and your own IP address and it's all set up correctly, then you can install WordPress under the HTTP S protocol, which means that every transaction and everything on it is encrypted. So it makes it very secure. But the majority of WordPress sites are just using the standard HTTP protocol, which is pretty standard, and we're going to follow that for this exercise. The domain name will be replaced with your domain name, whatever domain you've registered for your site. In this case, we're going to use a test site that I've got, which is moremarketingideas.com. And in the directory here, in most cases, as you'll see here, it actually says that you install it at your domain or my domain, whatever it might be, and leave the piece after domain name.com, leave it empty. And that will install WordPress directly onto your site at the top level. For this exercise, because More Marketing Ideas is already an operating site, I'm going to put it into a subdomain. But this section you would normally leave empty. For this exercise, I'm actually going to put in demo 1. Which means that the installation is going to go in a subdirectory called demo 1. Okay, so that's all right. The site name, because we're going to go in after we do the initial install and update the site and change the name and put up some headers and graphics and so forth, we don't need to change this at this stage, and the same with the description because we will be editing that information later. But for now, we just leave that the same. With the username and password, it actually suggests one here, which is pretty secure. What you need to do is you need to write these down and remember them. For this demonstration, I'm actually just going to put in web demo 123 for the username, and I'll do the same for the password. We will be deleting this install after the webinar, so it's not going to make any difference. Now, the important one here is this admin email address. So when people fill in forms on your website, those comments that go in on the forms will go to this email address. So it's pretty important that this email is active. I don't have an admin at More Marketing Ideas, so I'm actually going to make it Fred, which is an active email. And if you want to send some emails to that, please feel free, but make sure that you mark them with webinar request or webinar question or whatever, so that I know why you're emailing me. Otherwise, it'll probably go to spam, and I don't check spam very often. So if you want to talk to me, feel free, but make sure you're clear in the subject line what the email is about. The next thing that we need to do is just pull down a little bit, and we've got an install information details. So what this email it's looking for here is where we're going to get the installation details, and I'll use the same email. So all I'm going to do is just going to cut and paste this. So we'll drop that in there, and we're going to hit install. And this is going off, and it's checking to make sure that we can set up the correct databases on the website, and the basics framework is going to be configured correctly. And we get a message saying, congratulations, your software was installed successfully. And the software was installed at this location. So it's telling us that it was actually installed at moremarketingideas.com demo 1. When you do your installation, it will just have your domain name here without the demo 1. The same goes for the administration access URL. So this is the URL that you need to type into your top browser bar if you want to admin the WordPress site and make changes, add photos, update information, add pages, add a post, and whatever. So this is the admin area that is password protected based on the username and password we put in earlier. So again, in this case, you would have your domain you would not have the demo one, but you will need to put in the WP admin that followed your, you'll need to put in the WP admin following your domain name. And the WP obviously stands for WordPress. So that's the WordPress admin page. So if we go and have a look, I'm going to do a right mouse click on this and I'll open it in a new window so you'll see what this site looks like after a basic install. So there we go, we've got my blog and the WordPress because we didn't change this, and it's a hello word page. And if you look up here, it's actually saying that it's More Marketing Ideas Demo 1. So that's on that site. We'll close that down for a second and we'll come back and we'll go into the admin area of WordPress. So we made the username and password the same, and I probably still have it in the clipboard. No, I haven't. Okay, so it was web demo 123 and the password, and you can tell it to remember you on your computer if you wish to do that. In this case we're not going to bother, so we just log in and voila, we're in the admin portal for this particular WordPress website. You can do a lot of reading here and just check out everything. If you want to add posts to your website, you just simply go to posts and add a post. If you want to add photos to your photo library, again you go to the library and you add a new photo. Pages, the same thing, you add pages. We will cover that shortly as well. Comments, this is where you can go and edit, delete and change comments that are put up by people in response to your posts. The appearance is how the site is laid out, and here we can get options for themes. You can customize the site, you can do a lot of stuff. Plugins, again, you can add plugins and we will cover that shortly. Users, if you set up a membership site on your website, you can get a list of users, delete them, give them access to certain areas or not. Tools we're not going to cover here today, but there's a lot of stuff you can do in there. And settings. Now there is one thing that I want to cover in settings. So you've got general settings and layouts, but for this exercise I'm actually going to change one thing pretty quickly, and that's permalinks. So we go in and we change our permalinks, and what I want to do is I want to display the post name after the main URL. So I want to know, for example, if we have a home page and I wanted to display moremarketingideas.com/demo/home. If it's an About Us page, I wanted to display About Us rather than a number, which is a normal thing. It displays something like this up here. But so for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this option here, and it will place the post name parameters in here, and I'm just going to click that to make sure that we're going to use the custom structure and hit save. So that now will display user-friendly URLs at the top, so plain English rather than hieroglyphic or numbers and symbols. So that's the basic setup. Now what we need to do now is we need to go up to appearance and we need to select customize, and this will allow us change details of our site. So here we've got the identity and it says my blog and the catchphrase of my WordPress blog. So I'm just going to go and change that. So if we go, I'm going to change it to oops, easy, and it's gone. Learn all about WordPress, and we save and publish. And you can see that it's changed the name of our site. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to change the header. So if I go back and we look at the header image here, so we simply select that, we can add a new image. It's telling us that the header image needs to be 1200 by 280. Well, that's what it's recommending. So I need to find an image on our site, which I've already pre-created, fortunately enough, that is this size. So I'll go off and we'll grab that. Now in order to do it, again, this is all straightforward. What do you want to do? I want to add a new image. Okay, so it's going to ask us to find a file we want to upload as the header image. If you have File Manager open, you can grab the file and drag it into this box, or we can select it. So let's go and select it. I've actually got two versions. I've got a PNG, which has got a transparent background, and I've also got the JPEG. So I'm going to load in the PNG file here, but you need to just search for whatever you've saved your file. It's actually loaded it up here. It says select and crop, so let's select that. It's actually put the border around exactly what we want, and we're going to skip cropping, and we end up with, here we go. So we end up with a brand new header on our web page, and this is, if we go to the site itself, this is exactly what you're going to see. So the next thing we're going to do now is have a look at setting up a new page. So I'm just going to save that and publish it to make sure it actually stays there. And we'll exit. Now to add a page, you simply go to add page. And we're going to call this home. Well, let's call it about us, because that's probably what you'd want to do to start with. And you simply type in here whatever you want on this. Test site. Now the one thing so WordPress is one word, and we'll make a capital W there. The one thing you have to do when you create a page is to save everything, so we'll actually publish that. Now the one thing you will notice, and this is where the permalink issue came in, it's actually created a unique URL for this page, and it's got the domain name, where this site is located, and the About Us page. So we're going to publish that. Okay, so we've published, and now you'll see that it's actually changed to update. So the page is now published. Any changes we make in future, we can actually update it. So that's pretty well how you create your first page, and you can put in any content you want here. If you want to view the page and see what it looks like, you simply select View Page. That will open up another tab and display the page itself, and it's got the About Us page. Now you'll notice that this is pretty generic. We haven't got any menus or anything set up here, but we're going to go back, and as we talked about earlier, whoops, let me go back to the page. So we're back at our main dashboard, and what I'm going to do now is we're going to have a look at creating a post, which follows exactly the same thing. So you go up, select Post from the menu, add posts, and we've got a Hello World post there, which is the first one. We can actually edit that so that we can change what's actually on the page itself. So once we click on that, we can actually edit the post by clicking Edit Post up here. And you've got welcome. We can change the title to welcome, whoops, and welcome to WordPress. So we've just changed the title. You can obviously change the content here, and because this post has already been created, we'll actually select update. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to view the post. And there we go, we've changed the content or title of the post to welcome. So we've created the page, we've created the post, and we've installed a header. And that's your WordPress site basically up and running, ready for your complete data to make it look and feel like your own particular website.